Hi, my name is Dr. Brian Prax. I'm a certified chiropractic sports physician and I'm actively pursuing a diplomate in chiropractic neurology. I'm also a member of Dr. Michael L. Johnson's group of chiropractic neurologists and functional chiropractors practicing brain-based therapy here in the United States and abroad. There are less than 500 practicing brain-based therapy doctors in the United States, and I'm here in Charlottesville, Virginia to help you out. Dr. Michael Johnson is the creator of the brain-based therapy program together with Dr. Frederick Carrick, who is the leading chiropractic neurologist in the world at this point. Dr. Johnson wrote the book, What Do You Do When the Medications Don't Work? A non-drug treatment of dizziness, migraine headaches, fibromyalgia, and other chronic conditions. So, in getting started with our program, this is the Fibromyalgia Recovery Program, I want to lay out my 3 goals tonight, or today. Number 1, my goal is to reinvent your life. Choosing to go through this program is not easy, but should you go through the program, your life will be reinvented. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2, ROI, 10 to 1. Well, for those of you who are in investing, then you'll know what ROI means. For those who don't, it means a return on investment. So whether you're investing in gold or mutual funds, whether you're investing in real estate or government bonds, what the investor always wants to know is, what is my ROI? What's my return on my investment? I'm putting in this much money. How much money can I expect to get back? If you can get a 10 to 1 investment on anything, that's pretty good. And my minimum goal of a return on investment for you and this program is the 10 to 1 return. So yes, you will be investing in time. You'll be investing in energy. You'll be putting in money. You'll be putting in quite an effort in order to reinvent your life. And my minimum goal is to get you a return on investment of 10 to 1. You put in this much, I expect you to get that much back. That's the goal. And most importantly, the thing I love is we actually have an exit strategy, which reminds me, the next part of this DVD I want to talk about is what makes us different from the other chiropractor down the street or from your medical doctor. And the first thing that makes us different is we actually have an exit strategy. I've put together a strategy in order to reinvent your life, in order to get that return on investment of 10 to 1. So what is the exit strategy? Well, in our program we have a beginning. The beginning is analyzing you, is testing you, is trying to find out, how bad is the fibromyalgia? Do you have fibromyalgia? What is this fibromyalgia and what are the causes of fibromyalgia? You should have been to my talk or received the DVD on the talk that I do for the fibromyalgia, and this is just the bonus DVD. And in the talk, we discussed the treatment trifecta, and we also talked about the web of physiological dysfunction. Once we talk about the web of physiological dysfunction, you'll recall that has to do with fibromyalgia is a group of symptoms, but that it's much more. Your problem is much more than just a group of symptoms. In fact, there's other causes. So some people we'll talk about a little later may have anemia and fibromyalgia. Other people may have food allergies or food intolerances and fibromyalgia. And other people might have neurological brain problems or peripheral nervous system problems. And we talked about all of those in the fibromyalgia workshop. But the most important thing is that in the beginning we figure out what are the causes of this problem. Not just the symptoms, what are the causes? From the causes we then go about finding natural and effective ways of healing the brain, of healing the gut, of healing all the things that you have going on. And then that is called the treatment portion of the trifecta. Okay? And the treatment portion is designed to help you recover. This is why this is the recovery DVD of fibromyalgia. And the end of this 3-step process is an exit. An exit means that your body has recovered, or at least is in recovery, is on its way to full recovery. Okay? Everybody's different. But my strategy, my goal is to create an exit strategy for you. So back to that trifecta. Trifecta means 3 things. And we'll go ahead and write this up. The first portion of the trifecta is structure. Structure. So structure. What does structure have to do with? Well, structure has to do with not only the spine, the axial skeleton, the spine itself, but also the vertebrae, how they're stacked upon each other. We're also going to look at the muscles as they connect to the skeleton. And what we do is we run a surface EMG to see how tight the muscles are, how balanced they are, how balanced they are not. But we want to take a look at the structure. If you're standing here, you should have straight shoulders. You should be straight up and down this way. And looking at you from the side, your ear should not be forward. We should not have this. We should have a nice straight posture that should naturally, you should be able to naturally stand with a straight posture without having to force yourself into that. That's one of the things that we'll analyze with regard to the structure. The other thing that we want to take a look at is your feet. And primarily, how are the feet working? How are they actually holding your body up? Are they straight, or do we have pronation or hyperpronation where the feet are rolling in? Well, as you can see, this is the leg bone. If the feet are rolling in, you're going to have buckled knees, and that's going to lead to knee problems. So we want to take a look at the structure of the feet. That's where your foundation is. So if your foundation is off, it throws the ankle off, the foot off, the knees off, throws the pelvic out of alignment, and then you have some structural issues. Structural issues like this, if you think about it, what's inside of the skeleton? Well, what's inside of the spine is your nervous system, particularly your central nervous system. That part of the system called the onboard computer that is connecting the brain to the rest of the body. So if you have structural issues and things are way out of balance, then that is going to irritate the very nervous system of what's running your body and the reason that you're feeling all of these symptoms that you're feeling. So we're going to check the structure. The next part of this trifecta is the neurological portion. So we've got structure in our trifecta, and then we've got neurological. Neurological. So there's a structure and there's a neurological system. The neurological system resides within the structure. The reason you're feeling the pain is because somewhere up here, called the parietal lobe in your brain, is getting sensations from the afferent nerves in your body that's telling you, ouch, I hurt. So the neurological system, what are we going to do with that? Well, what makes us different is we're going to run a very complete, detailed examination, and not only a structural evaluation of your spine and nervous system, but we're going to run a functional neurological examination. So part of that functional neurological evaluation is the EMG to see how tight the muscles are, but the other part we're going to run is also a non-invasive test called the infrared thermography. And what infrared thermography does is it reads the temperature of the skin on this side, compares the temperature of skin to that side all the way up and down the spine. The purpose of that is that blood flows one way and flows the other way, and if it's warmer on one side compared to the other, it means that you're getting more blood flow here compared to there. Who cares? Well, the same nerves that control the blood flow to this side and to that side swing inward and control your inside organs. So we need to be able to check the balance of the nervous system in that way. The functional neurological examination is going to be a 1-hour exam, a very detailed exam. Sometimes it goes a little longer, usually not much shorter, but a very detailed functional neurological examination to see where the nervous system is having its challenges, to see is your brain connected or is it losing connections with different parts of the body. And so that goes back to that web of physiological destruction. We need to know where the body and the brain are disconnected. The functional evaluation, the functional neurological evaluation is like a mechanic. If your car gets towed in because it's not working, yes, he's going to pop the hood, he's going to check and make sure all the hoses are intact, all the wires are correct, there's nothing that's burnt, there's nothing that's obviously wrong, all the bolts are connected, etc. But he's also going to need to test it functionally. So that means he's going to try and turn it on, he's going to turn it over, he's going to put something in the tailpipe, he's going to put his testing kits, all of his different tests on it, and see where the car is not functioning properly. That's what a mechanic does, and that's what we're going to do. So the functional neurological examination is what also makes us different. So the nervous system, of course, controls the metabolic system as well. So not only is it going to be important to check your structure, we're going to check your neurological system, but we're going to have to check you metabolically. So that's this part of the trifecta. Metabolic. Metabolic has, and that's all connected with the structure as well. So the metabolism has a lot to do with how your body is burning its fuels, whether it's burning fat good enough, sugar good enough. We're going to need to check that metabolic system, because that system is what's actually determining how well you're feeling and how well things are working. So in order to reinvent your life, in order to get the return on investment of a 10 to 1, and to create that exit strategy, we cannot leave a single piece to this puzzle out. We're going to look at you structurally and how it ties together with you neurologically, how that ties together with the metabolism, and how that ties together with the structure. It's part of a trifecta, it's part of a triangle, so we have to look at all of that. So metabolically, now some of these tests your doctors may have checked, but you probably don't know this, or maybe by this time you do. Insurance, if you have insurance, you probably have found out already that there's a lot of limitations. They'll pay for this, but only if you do that. They won't pay for this, that, and the other, but what we want to do is we want to run the tests. If you want that return on investment of 10 to 1, we need to run the proper tests, whether they're covered by insurance or not. We need to run the test to find the cause of the problem. If we can find the cause of the problem, we can treat the cause of the problem, and we can get that exit strategy. So metabolism, what are we going to look at? Well, first we're going to want to look at the blood glucose levels. Now, a lot of my fibromyalgia patients have blood issues, sugar issues. Fibromyalgia oftentimes is connected with hypoglycemia or even diabetes. That needs to be managed. We need to manage that. The functional levels of blood sugar and blood glucose that we're looking at needs to be somewhere between 85 and 99. Okay? We don't want to wait until you get up to 120, 130 or beyond until you're diagnosed with diabetes, because then it makes it a lot harder to take care of this problem. We need to make sure that your AIC is below a 5.9. We need to check to see if you have anemia. If you have anemia, if you have any autoimmunities, we may need to run a Cyrex array number 3 to check for food sensitivities. What if your problem is significantly connected to a wheat allergy, and you keep eating pizza, and you keep eating that bread, but it's whole grain? Well, what if you have an allergy to wheat gluten? Well, that's something we need to know. That would be a bummer. But if you've got it, we need to eliminate it. And then we need to repair your gut from the damage that the wheat sensitivity has been providing. You probably have inflammation. Inflammation is the latest and the greatest in the current research. But inflammation is tied with so many things that we need to check your blood and see if you have any inflammation markers. And if you do, we can help nutritionally and otherwise support the system to handle this excess inflammation. The other thing we'll run is a blood panel called the Chem 56. 56 means we're checking 56 different bodily functions through the blood. So these are the different things that we're going to check metabolically. And we're going to need to look at, as I mentioned before, we're going to need to look at these from a functional, optimal level standpoint, and not just normal levels like what everybody else is checking for. Okay? So, as we talked about with that trifecta, in order to reinvent your life, get that return on investment of 10 to 1, and create that exit strategy, we need to not only look at the structure, but we got to look at the metabolism, we got to look at your blood, but we got to look at you neurologically. So that's what makes us different. That's the treatment trifecta. The other thing that makes us different is we actually work with other practitioners. I have a medical endocrinologist who's on board with us. He's an MD, so if you should need metformin, or if you should need some sort of medication to get things under control, that's who I can send you to. I have an excellent endocrinologist who understands our program and who is on board with all of this testing, with the neurology, with the brain-based therapy, and we will work together, and that's what makes us different as well. We have we have two different acupuncturists who may also be called in to help you either deal with pain, but also to help push us through any areas of trouble. If need be, we have an acupuncturist. We have 2 on-board massage therapists who are very familiar with fibromyalgia. You may have tried massage and it might have killed you or thrown you over the edge. With my massage therapist, we instruct them, and they know you got to start really slow and really gentle with fibromyalgia. We start massage at just a skin level deep. And what that does is it begins to release some of those terrible toxins that have been building up in your muscle system and building up in the skin system. So we want to slowly work that through. Our massage therapists are excellent. They get nothing but high marks in our office. The other thing that we want to start thinking about is exercise. And I know you've been hearing it already. You just need to exercise. Like you can exercise your way through this. Exercise is very, very important. It affects the metabolism. It affects the structure. It affects the neurological system. But you can't just start hitting the gym and start lifting weights and start running 5 miles every day, because you're going to neurologically, metabolically, and structurally just overcome your system and overwhelm it. You may have experienced that already. So when you get to that point, and we will if you follow the program, when we get to that point, we may send you across the street to ACAC. I can get a really good deal. They have a 60-60 program that we'll look into that can not only get you into the hot tub and all the other feely-good things, but they actually have a fibromyalgia program specifically designed for fibromyalgia. And we found that when we work together, people get better results there. When you start working out over there, you start improving all of this, making your life go better and making me feel good because I'm helping me achieve my goals. So I want you to start thinking about exercise, okay? I want to start thinking about getting out there and moving. The other thing that I've called on, that the other practitioners that we work with are the radiologists at either Martha Jefferson, my favorite, or UVA. They're all excellent. They're just standing by waiting to help us out. So if you have MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, if you have your blood, I want you to make sure you bring them into me. I want to look at all of them. Usually within the last year or so. If it's beyond a year, we got to really start thinking, we might need something a little more recent. But I can get on the phone with a radiologist, I can get on the phone with my doctor, the endocrinologist, and go over your X-rays, your MRIs, your blood scans. We have an excellent network that's going to help us get those results. So I want to leave you with 3 things that you can start with right now. Okay? 3 things that you can start with to really start getting you kick-started on your healing process for fibromyalgia. Okay? Let's work together. Let's really do it. We can do it. First thing I want you to do, and you need to write this down unless you're on your computer right now, I want you to go to LifeChangingCare.com. Pretty simple. Probably don't need to write it. We'll write it anyway. LifeChanging Care.com. LifeChangingCare.com. This is a website actually of Dr. Johnson's program, not only his patients, because he is an actively practicing brain-based therapist, but of the over 500 doctors who are practicing brain-based therapy. And there's actual video and written testimonials on LifeChangingCare.com that I want you to start opening up. So get into there. Go to, I think it's testimonials or patient testimonials, click on that, and then fibromyalgia. And then I want you to start reading and watching these video testimonials of people. Last time I checked, there was, at the time of this recording, there was some 241 actual testimonials from real live people like yourself who went through this program. I should put it as goal 4. My 4th goal is to get a 5-star rating on Google from you, or an excellent testimonial. I'm really going for that testimonial. I want to be able to load up your testimonial on LifeChangingCare.com. But that's it right there. I want you to go there and start looking at these videos, okay? Because I believe that if you can believe it, then you can achieve it. So healing starts here. Starts in between your ears. If you can't believe that you can actually recover, like have an exit strategy, like actually reverse your fibromyalgia, it's not going to happen. Okay? I think it was Henry Ford who said, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. No, that's not it. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. So let's start thinking that you can. Let's start looking at believing that maybe something really can work. It can. Okay? So if you can believe it, you can achieve it. How do you believe it? Well, don't take my word for it. I'm just the doctor here talking to you about this. Go and visit some other patients. So get on to LifeChangingCare.com and check it out. Okay? Right after this, you should get on and start checking it out. And we talked about exercise, and I want you to, at minimum, start to think that I'm going to start exercising. Best would be to start exercising now. Now, this is not going signing up at ACAC. This is not, unless you already are, congratulations, but most of you can't even think about doing that, okay? So what I want you to start thinking about doing, if not starting, is maybe making one lap around the house, okay? Maybe walking to the mailbox and back twice or once. What we want to do is we want to first crawl, and then we want to walk, and then we want to run, okay? And I mean that literally, but figuratively as well. We're going to start out slow, and we're going to work up from there. So start out slow. Just start anywhere. Please, just start to move. Start to move. Here's another thing, and I cover this in my healthcare class. Please call the office, 977-5433, of course area code 434-977-5433, and sign up for the healthcare class if you haven't done so already. In that class I cover 7 things to do and 7 things not to do in order to get perfect health recovery. Okay? I'm just going to give you 2 tidbits right now. 1, if you're drinking soda, even just one a day, even just one a week, stop. That stuff is killing you. If you're drinking diet soda, oh my gosh, that's even worse. That's neurotoxic, toxic to your brain. Sodas have 12 teaspoons of sugar in it. It's killing you metabolically. You've got to stop doing that. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to replace the soda with, it's really high tech, are you ready? Water. The formula for water, and we cover this in the healthcare class, but this is an example of one thing to do and one thing not to do. How much water? Simple. Take your weight on 184, round it off to 180, divide by 2, 90. Okay, in my case, 90. 90 ounces of water I'm drinking every day. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Okay, to get out of fibromyalgia, to create that exit strategy, to get you that return on investment of 10 to 1, and to reinvent your life. Let's start with those 2 things. Start to exercise and stop the soda. Start with the water. The other thing that I want to do is I want to give you Dr. Johnson's chapter out of his book on fibromyalgia. And this is the explanation of how brain-based therapy works. Last time, let's see, I think it was 28 pages, and they're small pages, so I want you to get the chapter. We will send it to you. I will give you a copy. I recommend buying the book. But in the book on fibromyalgia, Dr. Johnson's book, in that chapter, he has real live case stories. He has histories of people. He has what exactly he did, the brain-based therapies that he did, and how they recovered. This is about the belief. Wow, there's somebody else who actually recovered. Okay? So let's start thinking about that. So lastly, in order for me to reinvent your life, to get you that return on investment of 10 to 1, and to create this exit strategy, we need to begin to figure out the combination to unlock your potential. And if you came to my class, then you'll remember the lock analogy. In fact, I got a new lock right here that we're going to remind you about. The key to fibromyalgia, really, or any condition, is all about the combination. What combination of issues, of neurological, structural, or metabolic issues do you have? What's the combination that it's going to take to unlock your lock? What is it going to take? Let's get going. Let's get to work. I look forward to helping you reinvent your life and to helping you change your life forever. Thank you.